line. Hey, the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
Introducing RS30 Ultra. The first sim racing wheel and pedals designed by a professional championship racer. Officially licensed by Microsoft, RS30 brings next-level realism to your racing sims. Sense the road, know your vehicle, and get faster lap times as you tear through the track. Dual helical gear motors give you more torque than traditional gear drive motors, with the same smoothness and quietness of a belt drive motor. Experience a stunning 6 Nm of torque, the most torque per dollar than any other wheel, and fast, accurate feedback with 0 dead zones. Feel every nuance and know exactly when you're understeering, oversteering, or losing traction. Spring-loaded pedals give you responsive throttle modulation and brake progression for absolute control and precision, just like the real thing. 2 additional paddles can be used as clutch and e-brake, or as pedal-free throttle and brakes. A rotation switch lets you easily toggle between simulation racing and arcade-style racing. Even the diameter of the wheel is calibrated to exact race car specifications. And an easy share button lets you save and share your best laps with a simple push. From the metal build to the suede wheel and steel pedals, every detail is dialed to give the entire system a high-end feel. Get better, go faster, win more, and enjoy every second of it. With RS30 Ultra, you'll race like a pro and feel like one too. RS30 Ultra by GTR Simulator. Go fast.
When you need the best designs in your fleet of vehicles, there's only one brand name that many trust in. One that makes every car pop out from the rest of the field, and that is Lightning Wraps. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at Lightning Wraps. Get yourself a vehicle unlike the rest. Lightning Wraps, the most affordable designs made at your leisure.
Looking for a new PC or an upgrade to your current one? Look no further than Ford Entertainment Group, your home for the best quality and value in new, pre-built, and custom PCs at the lowest price guaranteed. We have affordable PC solutions for any budget, with custom builds starting at $595. Even the pros turn to Ford Entertainment Group to get them up and running. With valued customers from all over the world, it's easy to see why Ford Entertainment Group is the most trusted brand in custom PCs.
I wanted to save my awesome subscribers the most money when they started their sim racing journey. Well, I searched high and low for the best deals. And I'm so proud that Jeffrey and I have partnered up so I can spread the good news about where to get the lowest price on a high-quality computer.
Feel confident when buying from us with the FEG Satisfaction Guarantee. Get yourself on track today by visiting us online at fegpc.net.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come, and the time is here now at Homestead-Miami Speedway for Breakdown Cleanrs 80 here on track at Homestead-Miami, Florida. It's time to see what kind of down and dirty driver race we're going to see from the drivers here as they are about to bear witness some of the toughest mile-and-a-half track racing here on the service here on iRacing. How's it going? I am the Crusader Christian Driver joining you guys here today. As we're seeing everyone down here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, things are getting really ramped up, ready to go here for the action here on the track, as well as the whole host of runs in the field position. We're about to see guys and gals all around ready just to kind of tame their craft and find their leg up here on this track. It's time to see how it all plays out right here and now as we present to you the gritting lineup for tonight's action. Start him on the pole. Robert Kahn gets fast time here. He'll be outside him. Will be Chantel Throttle Bottle in the 5. Run number 2, it's going to be Corey Reed. And that 27 is outside. That'll be the 84, Matthew Hoffer. Run number 3, it's Justin Snaker in the 50 is outside. Tyler Orrick pilots the 8. Outside. Run number 4 is going to be William Mann Sr. in the Papa Beast in the 57 is outside. Mike Rideout, that's the 76. Run number 5, Thad Failer in the 42 is outside. Dennis Warren's in the 90. Row 60's Jason Henry in the 3. With Kevin Baker on his outside in the A7 to round out your field in this battle of proportions. Solid lineup of drivers, solid lineup of fields, ready to bring it down the house, burn it down on the track here. Presented in part by our good friends over at GTR Racing Simulator, DeeDub Button Boxes, The Butt Kicker Company, Gearhead Coffee, Booze Motorsports, FEGPC.net, Man's Maintenance, Berrytown Cleaners, Lightning Wraps, and of course, Southern Country Co. and Grid Finder. Big thank you to them. And now, let's get to the racing. Enjoy the show. Here we go. Well, we're not going to waste any time taking it near 3 wide salute territory. Dustin Soldaker and the number 50 took it right in the launch onto the 27, Corey Reed with the 5, Chantel Pottle up top side there. All drivers avoiding confusion or avoiding trouble out of the gate here, trying to stay focused on the task at hand. You may have noticed earlier on we had a few new cameras we were trying out earlier down on the YouTube end of things. Well, we're trying out some new cameras right here and today. The Xfinity cars are going to get their little reel and deal as well as we go right off top side here. The 5 Chantel Pile staying farther up than Con, the 21. Whoa, not so much. No, anyway, as the 5 lost a lot of control there coming off that turn 2. Might have hit the flat spot ending in the middle there. She lost a lot of speed, lost a lot of power. I think she really let Con get into her head there. Had to really try to stabilize that down. Thankfully, there's a competition caution to help get her restructured here, but that is a costly error she's going to have to avoid later in this race. As a driver, though, I mean, I really wouldn't say anything less than what Con has done these last couple weeks. He just comes out here, he just puts the gas pedal down, he just floors it, and he just drives it with the best of them. Probably doesn't help him much that he's the highest iRating guy of the group at a 29-29.
29:20. The closest one to him, well, that would be Thad Failer in the 42. And Thad's been pretty much consistent all around this season when it comes to his positions and his overall performance. He hasn't really had too many bad moves or bad breaks here, to say the least, and that's been kind of his forte, it's his aura he's brought onto the tracks. Speaking of this right now, Tyler Orrick in the number 8 now putting draft right up there with the 57 of Willie Mann Sr. Papa B's trying to hold down his line, trying to hold down the field with that speed and runoff coming through the corners as the 90 of Dennis Warrens looks on from the top side. There's going to be some surreal moments in between, some moments that really just kind of benefits and benefactors other drivers more than the other. Kevin Baker right now, the 87, staying way behind the field, staying out of trouble here, I presume. This is done to help give himself a little structure, a little bit of control in the Toyota Camry number 87. Firing him down right now, 84 of Matthew Hoffert, trying to get the top side to kind of come in a little bit. Now, I will tell you from experience running this track here, as a matter of fact, it's really the only track I've actually ever won a championship on. But this track, in my opinion, probably the most difficult part of it is that it's a multi-gear track, but there's a little hiccup in there, and that is on long runs. If you're going to work at each part of the track, you're going to want to start bottom, and you got to move yourself up top side at a topward angle to let the car kind of drive in a little bit deeper later on. Passes are easy to do on the bottom, top side not so much, so drivers a lot of times like to work top side to conserve the tires, conserve the fuel. And as time goes on, then it's starting to hammer down time, starting to let this thing rip at a new one. People are ripping a new one. The 5% Del Bottles, she's already ripping this track a new one after that little spin off turn number 2. I gotta believe a lot of aggression is coming out of that 5 today here. The way she runs here and the way she ran before, we've seen her put on some incredible performances. But Jason Henry is no slouch to get around him. You best know how to take him on for a little ride. We're on board with the 3. You see the consistency and the control that Jason Henry is trying to do right now, watching every angle, every corner. Keeping a close eye on his spots, on his shots here, looking for openings when he can. But that bobble off of turn number 2 just shows you how worn tore those tires are right now. Opens the door up, and the 5% up Otto, strength and loaded, locks ahead and takes position away. That failure right now, man, I'm telling you, he is in the points lead right now, but not by much here. Khan can start snapping that away from him if he's not careful. He needs some good positions and some good finishes here to stay in that realm and in that fight. But he's also got to watch out and not get himself into too much trouble or get himself into any pickles here. Homestead-Miami Speedway is a very good track for a long distance, long haul, and it's definitely been known to put up some great shot, put up or shut up kind of races, and that's exactly what we're getting right now. No driver out here right now has literally backed off their throttle and give anything up too much. They're going to put up with everything that the track gives it to them, and they're going to give it right back to this track, and that's what we like to see. Driver Khan right now, strong race lead here for the number 21 here, continuing to maintain distance, maintain the speed and gravity of the controls. He is your race leader right now. The other Toyota Camry right now, Matthew Hoffert right behind him here. Excuse me, Supras. I'm thinking Cup Series. Sorry guys. This is the Supras they're running out here. I don't know why I keep thinking Camrys with these Xfinity cars. So the Toyota Supras right now, currently the ones lead the pack, lead the charge. Gotta putting up the fight, putting on the fray here, making sure that everything comes in play and comes in quite nicely and wrapped up. Over the laps here, you can see Thad Failer has been, shall we say, kind of creeping in on some drivers, kind of creeping up on the field. while we look forward up to the second place spot here with Matthew Hoffer and Corey Reed, and Reed is a whole different story now. There is a stage caution that is coming out on lap number 25 here. So that stage break at 25 actually is going to give things a little bit more of a boost and a kick, if you will, to these drivers to really start charging a little quicker, charging a little harder, if they wish to survive and conquer around this very tough to master Homestead-Miami Speedway. And it's not a wide open track, by the way, mind you. This is still a pretty notable track for what you can do with it. You do have bottom, you do have middle, you have the high side all to yourself. But again, most drivers in these Xfinity cars, they're going to find themselves more aiming towards top side late in the run, as the bottom starts to become very tricky and very difficult to get down to and get in with position. It's an extremely tough track to really hammer down with, and it's extremely hard to really give into with. Lap fuel window, you're going to see probably around 28 to 32 laps of fuel, I would say, with these cars. That's about when you're going to see most of these drivers kind of starting to head towards pit road camps. So what that means is you'll see at least 3 pit stops. The first one, of course, will be stage break. The second one will be kind of more towards the middle. The third is going to definitely be really, really later in that run, or could trip some drivers up if there's not a caution in there, and you may see some different ideals be put to the test. Some trying to go a little later, some going a little longer. Either way, just know it's going to be a very tall order for every single one of these drivers out here to have to figure out what they're going to do. Tyler Orrick right now in the Can-Am 8, still dealing with Kevin Baker on that 87 here. The 87 trying to get the big black and back and black. It's rock the yellow, black the gold. I think he's trying to get a little black and yellow up in here because I think he's going to turn on a radio station, just some Wiz Khalifa down in that car. Seems to be enjoying himself though, and I'll tell you one driver that's enjoying himself too up front. It's that 27, a reconstruction. The Chevrolet Camaro is now putting right up ahead of the 84 Toyota Supra's Matthew Hoffer. And the Gearhead Coffee 84 is put back a position here. He had second place holding on by a good thread of margin, just hanging in there. Not so much now. Right now, while the field kind of slows up a little bit from their battles here, let's talk about this cat right here, the 21 Robert Kahn. Really, only one race. He has not won, and actually his points race, because of how tight points are and how tight you have to be in position, you need to have consistent finishes. And even though he's won almost all his races, that one bad race actually ended up costing him quite a bit and quite a lot in the momentum stakes, as well as positioning in the leaderboards. He's had to just drive this thing into the ground to try to get the extra batted bonus points, to get right up ahead. And again, there are no bonuses from the laps you run, nor is there bonuses from the overall stage breaks. So really, what he's going for is staying ahead of the guy that's in first as many times as he can, and staying higher up to get the maximum amount of points, which in this case would be 20. And then it goes 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, so on and so forth per position. The system in the scoreboard is designed to make drivers really have to come down here, have to come race, and if they miss one race, that costs them dearly. So really running the 12 race schedule season, it makes for some extremely incredible battles, and it makes for some very close corners and very tight races. It puts, in my opinion, the drivers at stake. It puts them in the mentality of having to outrace and outdrive everyone else that is in their wake. Well, the Flying Dutchman now seems to have waited out long enough. He sees the laps coming up here and now. Looks to try to make the move on the 5 Chantel, the throttle bottle. The throttle bottle nearly flipping that throttle too much out of turn 2 at the beginning of the start of this race. Was really in a hot brigade battle though to stay with Kahn, but sadly though, on cold tires of this track and a little bit of not enough wear and tear, that will do you wrong and that'll do you bad eventually. Baylor moves one spot ahead, now takes over position. Meanwhile, back behind all of it here, we do have ourselves another battle going on here. This is your battle for 6th. Mike Rideout in the 76 MRN machine now looking to make a move here with the Camaro over the Supra as Hoffer starts to slowly fade away and out of existence. Matthew Hoffer did tell me earlier that he just is not sure what happened in his racing game and his racing strategies, his style of racing. He just seems like he feels like he has been kind of lost in the shuffle. He says in general he feels lost. He doesn't know why. He doesn't know what's going on. He just wants to try to find that edge, that groove that helped him win a racing championship in the Dirt Series. And also that helped him win multiple races back at the start of these series in the back of the Ford Petaluma Racing League. He says he loves the look of his cars. He says he loves the look of everything else, but he just doesn't like the look he sees when he gets on the track anymore because he hasn't really felt himself, as he says. Hopefully in due time, though, I know we all fall in a little bit of a slump. Believe me, I have plenty of times before, but I think really it's just a matter of time before you see that 84 camp start to really get better as a person and a driver yet again, and things can get much different for him. I think it just takes a little practice, a little timing and execution. There's even Dustin Sonaker here. You know, a driver usually we don't talk too much about trying to battle up in the mid-pack or the top half. He's actually still been hanging in there pretty good today. This really is kind of his style of racing. He likes these kind of tracks where it forces the driver to really stay more intertwined, more in line with a certain race end in a race wheeling position. And Sonaker's been known to really stay slow in the corners, really stay slower off the exits. And it seems like he's been doing just that and then some as we're leading in. The stage break. Robert Kahn absolutely tears this one up and tears up the track. The TRD, PTM TV Freightliner 21 pulls off all the stops, gets to lap 25. Caution is out for your stage break, but what a performance by Kahn out of the gate here. Corey Reed at that failure, though, put on a pretty good performance. And how about Chantel Bottle? Fell back literally into 8th and 10th place. She goes back to 4th here to close out the stage, which means there's a whole lot of hungry drivers still looking to try to take that man down. And that's 21. Can the rattlesnake be beaten out? Find out when we return. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, has been brought to you in part by our good friends over at GTR Racing Simulator. Welcome to the future, GTR Racing Simulator. It's not that we broke the mold, we just never used one. By DeeDub Button Boxes. Quality button box made your way. DeeDub Button Boxes always has you covered. By the Butt Kicker Company. Best in performance for feeling real tracks. The virtual world. The Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing. By Gearhead Coffee. Whether you're wrenching on your vehicle at home, garage, or servicing customers at the automotive repair facility or dealership, Gearhead Coffee provides a unique premium quality coffee that keeps your motor running. By Ooze Motorsports. Don't think we're cheating because you think you're fast. And by FEGPC.net. Matching your want with your wallet. They always work with the best PC to give you the right price on everything. And the field right now going to get squared back in position here. That's our first caution of the day here. This will give us an idea of how pit roads are going to be like for these drivers now. Let's take a look as they come into pit road. You're going to see every driver kind of putting themselves in the same position, same spot. The 5 Chantel Paddle will be in the second spot. The Cropper Con, of course. Fast qualifier will be in that number 1 timed area. And that failure heads down in. He's going to have to go into his his little area. And Corey Reed, Dustin Sonaker, and all them moving in. Hoffer goes into his. All drivers taking tires and fuel. No surprise there. Tires definitely going to be tore up a bit. Corey Reed, though, outclasses Kahn here. Kahn. Oh, what has happened to the 21? I think he might have either had a time penalty going into pit road or he had a speeding penalty. Either way, that was a tough little nugget there for him to swallow. He is going to be lower in the pack. Matthew Hoffer, Dustin Sonaker trying to get out of there too. Hoffer will get out before Sonaker. And William Mann still in pit road. I've got to believe there were some pit penalties thrown at these boys. Now, I'm not saying Colin can't make a run back to the front. We know him to obviously do that before, but that's going to make things a lot more difficult as a driver to get around to that. Corey Reed will be your new leader. Thad Failer and Chantel Bottle will now mount the charge up with Jason Henry and Mike Rideout getting you in the top 5 brackets. Drivers leaning it back in. The pace lights are off on the pace car. Also, just a heads up, folks, after this race, one more race to close out our night. Shake and Bake Racing League down at Atlanta Speedway. Hold on a minute, folks. We have got some technical difficulties on our end here. And just like that, looks like the Good Guy for Gremlins came by to sneak on me today. Hold on one moment. Every freaking...
Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in mind is the finish line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in mind is the finish line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up.
Oh, you gotta love it when everything breaks down on you. Alright, well, we're back, and we're up and running again, so hopefully that's the last time those glitchcrafter gremlins kind of fight with me around here. As I was trying to mention, we do have the Atlanta Speedway coming up for the butt kicker race version of the Shake and Bake Racing League. That will be coming up here as well here in a little while, but I do apologize again, guys, for the technical difficulties here. Right now, our battle is heating up here. Right now, we're back on the show, and we're back with everything. Khan managing to get his way back up to the front rather quickly here, but the 5% bottle certainly not giving him any reason to give out or really any reason to back off here. Ball drivers putting on a haymaker, a flurry of huge racing moments, huge big spots here. 12 of the best just trying to shoot it out amongst themselves and trying to shoot it out with the entire field on this track. It wasn't kind of obvious. Yeah, we lost our camera systems too, so we unfortunately gonna have to stick with the old ones. Warren trying to get right up there with Corey Reed right now in that 27 here as the Chevrolet Camaro driver tries to hold them both down. You gotta bolt that bottom line in, try to hold off for all you can here, because right now Robert Kahn is defending and giving it everything she's got. Although that was a huge little nugget down to the bottom there. I'm not sure if he was trying to get the draft off from the 5% auto or what he was up to there, but driving that low, that certainly does not seem like a Kahn move, I would say. Chantel is giving it to him though, not letting him breathe, not letting him get an inch from it. Coming right around the exits here, Matthew Hofford, he would get a little bit of a fight here with the Blackstone number 3. Jason Henry. Henry trying to hold down the line, hold down the charge of the Gearhead Coffee 84. All drivers certainly putting on a show and putting on a battle here of many proportions, just trying to see which one can outplay the other. Kind of lead them off the charge right now. It looks like Henry might be opening the door a little bit to Hoffer, getting a little bit better of a run off the bottom lane. It gets so easy to do here where you just kind of get a little too occupied with what you're doing up front, what you're doing in the back. You don't realize like what you got going on with another driver dealing with right behind you. As we are now hitting halfway mark here, the halfway point has been reached. That failure in the 482 right now, coming right at the 5 Chantel bottle. Chantel trying to hold the line up on the outside, keeping everything she's got in full rhythm and full view. Yeah, I don't know what it is though about that rattlesnake Robert Kahn, but he's just bad fast yet again. Not giving anyone a chance, not letting anyone breathe out here. He's just putting in a hot day's work and a hot boiling sun here at Homestead, really making everyone question whether or not he will even have a chance to give anything up on the lines on the run here. So past halfway point here at this point right now, it's just really a matter of who gets the speed, who gets the runs, and who can hold on for the car at hand. Really a positioning here, you see it right as well with that manufacturer deal here. Of course, only noticing that there's only 3 Toyota Camrys and the Chevrolets are the only other ones involved. That kind of makes you wonder, kind of at least like, why is there not another Ford, or why is there any of the Ford cars out here? And believe it or not, they can be ran here and they have been set up for this track. But I kind of get this hunch that the reason why there's no Fords out there is because mainly they don't really feel as though that they can be as competitive as the Toyota or the Chevy, which is pretty ironic because that's the complete opposite of what it looks like right now in the other side of the brackets, which is what's going on down on the next gen side. As that failure here, a big bobble there. All 3 and 4 ends up costing him a lot of times here. The Dutchman gets passed in by old Dennis Warnes. And the DeeDub button box is number 90 now pulls right ahead of the Dutchman. And Collins got to be loving every minute of this, knowing that failure is falling back further and further. You just need to be consistent. You just need to be on your level and really settled up. That's the main objective. That's the main goal at hand. The Dutchman now looks like he's got a pretty good shot to start taking some hits and start taking some runs off. Warren's looking to go down to the bottom lane, looking to try to shoot the gap. Not quite going to get him there. Had an opening there, but couldn't quite get it to go right where he wanted it to. Oh, this time though, it's going to be complete opposite. But again, you wonder how much is he burning that tires off on the bottom side there. There's a lot of running and leeway that's giving him a lot of trouble and a lot of positioning. And I guarantee you more than anything, he's just more worried about having to keep up with the right side tires for the long haul than he will be on that left side. The left side tires here are kind of meaningless, kind of pointless. Really the point is, really the biggest key factor having those right sides burn up the way they do is because how deep you're driving in those turns, how hard you're running off on the track side here. It makes for some very difficult and unique race modes that forces even the best of drivers to really have to be careful here. Warren's starting to be caught up here by Corey Reed. As you take a look at our lap timing sheets here, and you can see a time gap difference in between. Reed is giving quite the positioning and quite the draft zone. You can see a 10th, 4/10, then a 10th gain. Yeah, he is definitely on mounting charge, on the mounting run. And Dennis Warnes knows this way too well. Reed's kind of one of those guys that, to me, I would say probably he's kind of a sneaky little artist here. He's kind of a sneaky driver. He can be really smart and strategize well and actually outplay most drivers just by his strategies, or sometimes he just gets a little too overbearing for himself and just overplays it. He plans things out very well though, I will say, and he's very strong on working that wheel in and working that car as much as he has to. Definitely call him a bit of a wheel man. Baylor caught right back up to the 5 Chantel bottle, but Corey Reed is now going to make the move off, charge it down low, right under the 90, and the 90 can't quite hold him back. But neither can they hold back that failure in that 42. And the 5 looking to just let him burn tires up, let him worry about the rest. Oh, almost though. Flipping the 5 machine, nearly got a little runoff on him. Took him for a little bit of a head whirl, a little head turning move there. Just over 30 laps remain right now, and I guarantee you the throttle Chantel bottle is just patiently waiting her turn to start driving a little harder, driving a little bit quicker at that 42. The lone female up Pedal Metal Racing League still out and about racing with some of the toughest and the best drivers that kind of come through these doors, come through these windows and these walls. Many have been racing for quite some time and such a long time. It makes for quite the challenge and quite the overall experience just to see what these guys and gals can bring to the table. As Kevin Baker right now tries to get up there, Jason Henry, race fans, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, pit stops are going to be crucial, and they're going to be very hard to find. Will they find the right time? Find out when we return. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, has been brought to you in part by our good friends over at Man's Maintenance. You want it done right? Call them, man. By Berrytown Cleaners. When you got yourself a mess, Berrytown Cleaners can help fix that up. By Lightning Wraps, the most affordable designs made at your leisure. Lightning Wraps brings out the best designs in your library. By Southern Country Go, the trusted company to get your designs in your day-to-day life. And by Grid Finder, the best way to find a new league. Filter search by race day, your geographical region, gaming, racing sim, and car class. You need a broadcast library designer? Search Grid Finder, the home of online racing. Still positioned out, Robert Kahn literally 3.5+ seconds ahead of the field and ahead of that failure, as well as now Corey Reed as the 5 struggles to continue to keep up her speed, keep up her distance. Jason Henry heads into pit road. He is going to opt for a very, very long run strategy, and he is going to go in right at the right time. That's about when the tires would have taken a bit of a beating and when the fuel would have taken too much of a run. I kind of question, though, whether or not that's going to be able to impact this race and kind of impact this momentum throughout this day and throughout this night. Kind of riding hard off here. Chantel Bottle drives it way hard on the outside. Corey Reed heads into pit road. She's going to go very, very late in the run. I think what she's up to is what we kind of call a little bit of a tweener run. It's not necessarily a full short run, but it's not a full long run either. What it is it allows her to kind of power off for a good distance and a good chunk of the laps and use up that fuel as much as she needs to. So that failure, though, the way he's slowing down, I guarantee you he's probably opting to go in there here in a minute. Robert Kahn's gone in, so now this becomes a war of nutrition. Kahn's heading into pit road. The 5 and the 42 go in as well, so it looks like tweener runs coming from all of them. Matthew Hopper and looks like Matthew Hopper and Mike Rideout going to go in. Corey Reed is already out of pit road. He looks like he's going to get himself 4 fresh sets and a little bit of fuel. Layman, will he opt to stay out? He's going to stay out ahead of the field. Looks like he wants to try to get as much position as he can in. Kahn knows he better have been careful going in pit road this time. And he was. He'll outplay the field and outrun the drive. Corey Reed trying to get up ahead of Kahn before he starts getting his momentum back in position. The 5 Chantel Bottle is driving extremely hard too off of the exit. She knows she's got to get this thing going quickly to get back to Kahn. Dad Baylor and Corey Reed, 2 different driving styles now put on full display, full resume between both drivers. Here's the best lap time between everyone involved here so far, and really, just to me, it's kind of obvious here. Anything that was a 33.4, you were flying by in there. But if it was a 33.5 or 6, I mean, well, frankly, you were probably the most consistent of the bunch. Kahn laid in a 33.63. Reed had a 33.64 for his fastest time. To me, that evened the playing field out, made things a lot more difficult for the drivers to have to center pace and center speed around. And the Imperium 42 right now trying to stay right ahead, 1 leg up with Corey Reed. In the back of the pack, though, Mike Rideout pretty much kind of caught in the middle of a crossfire between Oric and Slonaker. Slonaker about 2 1/7 back, 2 1/8 ahead for Tyler Oric on Mike Rideout. And Rideout, again, one of those drivers I always just kind of want to look at it and just say, like, he knows what he's up to, he knows what his strategy is, but at the same time, he finds himself in such of a distant landscape, different area ideal, that it's just become a bit of a struggle for him to really keep up sometimes with these drivers, with this position and these paces. As for Kevin Baker, I think really his main draw is that he's very track sensitive. Like I don't mean that to be like in a bad way or a defensive way or anything like that. For those that don't know what track sensitive means, track sensitive is when you are really, really good on one track, but when it comes to, say, another track, you may struggle a little bit more and you may have some overall glaring problems. You gotta find out later and figure out what was the deal with that. The big thing I will tell you right there is with that 87 is that he actually had raced hard and raced well down at, of course, tracks like Bristol Motor Speedway. He's also raced hard and well down on tracks like Michigan, which were kind of two glaring other tracks, different area playing fields, and he can do a pretty good job down at Daytona and Talladega as well. But really, that's where we've seen most of his strengths lie at, where we've seen most of his races be at its absolute peak in performance. Everybody else has either been consistent with their tracks, but maybe not as top tier level or fast as can be without a little bit of a workaround or a little bit of luck, or they've been just pretty much kind of in that usual speed and that power that they can bring to the table. But unfortunately, when it comes to dealing with the likes of Robert Kahn, that's a different story. We know Failer is a dominant one and definitely a tough cat to take down. Corey Reed, though, I would say, at the same token, he's extremely tough just to even try to get around, much less deal with when he's got it all locked up. Seems like he's still got this thing locked up, got it in a pretty good position here as the field starts to shrink down a little bit. Battle for fourth here with Dennis Warrens in the 90 and the 5 with Chantel Pottle. 17 laps remain right now. Robert Kahn, really, is there anything else I have to say about him? He's just completely dominated and just tore this season up from the start and really from the get-go with that win back at Talladega and only the one loss at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He has been lights out. And there's no playoff format. There's no when you're in nonsense or tomfoolery, any of that stuff with the points race. It's literally, you better go out there and race for your points and race for your win. There is no luck or no give on that one. You've got to go for it all. And really, every time out, he's done that and then some. I think he drives really with a chip on his shoulder more than anything. And I think that's what makes him so darn difficult to beat. Although here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, I can tell you just in general, he is extremely difficult to beat. Jason Henry right now, number 3, kind of firing it right out the 84 of Matthew Hoffer at the Gearhead Coffee Machine. Literally trying anything he can, really anything he's got left under the hood, trying to put up some speed and trying to put on a little bit of a late bit run. I guarantee you that 84 has had so much bad luck and some bad issues with the way things have gone, the way things have been playing out for him and his crew. I think he's just hoping and praying he could get one little help, a little position in for. Dennis Warrens, the DeeDub button box is 90 now, coming right at that 5 with Chantel Pottle here, the Gearhead Coffee. Lightning Wraps designed up machine, trying to hold on. As you can see, she is getting very, very loose on those corner exits, especially off turn 2. That flat spot she just hit, that was where she had gotten right into the middle line. That middle section there is where you will lose all your speed, all your momentum. She lost it there. Now has to deal with the overwhelming threat that is right below here in Dennis Warrens. Warren's trying to give it everything it's got, trying to see if maybe he can get up there. Corey Reed with about a 5-second lap, or about a 5-second lap difference. Bottle using the 57 as a little bit of a draft zone there. Last time that happened, though, that was maybe not the best circumstances there. She would have to serve her penalty there the next race, and everyone else kind of went their way, but the 90 of Dennis Warrens stays right up ahead. The draft not quite what the 5 was hoping for, not quite the speed she was hoping to get off to get back that fight with the Dennis Warrens. That failure right now pretty much skirmishing right up ahead of Corey Reed, and if I'm mistaken, I don't think we've had any cautions whatsoever in this race besides the stage break. Now again, I did have the technical difficulties for a minute or two, so I will say probably there was a few laps we'd lost in the shuffle, but other than that, I think we pretty much have covered everything that we've been seeing and broadcasted here today. Ten laps remain, and the number 21 still holding on. That failure and Corey Reed not far behind, not out of line, out of touch with this one to say the least. The reconstruction 27 looking maybe for one last ditch effort, one last little push on that 42. Not out of the question necessarily, but I'm surprised a lot of drivers are staying towards that middle section, towards the bottom section than I thought. I thought a lot of more drivers were going to go towards the outside lines, kind of burning it up right up there, but no. They stayed more in towards the middle, towards the bottom section, unless you're that 84 Matthew Hoffert, who now deals with the 3s run in the Blackstone Chevrolet. 9 to go here, and you can see now Henry at the last charge, the last gasp, if you will. On real speed coming through, passes the 84 of Hoffert. Hoffert right now, yet again, with another tumultuous turning of events and a tough time really surviving and conquering anything out here, much less just keeping himself in one piece. I think at this point, he is kind of like the Kevin Harvicks of this, just looking to go out there and get a race winning when he can. Mike right out here, solid performance from him earlier on here. Got into the top half earlier in the bit, top 6 I believe is where he was highest at peak. His lowest obviously was near the dead last section, but he hasn't really given up anything to any of these drivers, really given up anything to the guys out here. He's been just kind of locked and loaded, staying focused on what he was doing, what he was after, not really worrying about too much of the other guys. The Flying Dutchman here at that failure, this second place finish is going to help him out tremendously if he can stay in this position. It doesn't matter what Robert Kahn does for the race lead. Kahn can win this one, but the thing is, that second place spot right now is what's helping and gathering everything for the Dutchman. Gone with only 5 laps left remaining. Absolutely put a beating on these drivers and put a beating on this field, to say the least. I mean, we've talked about scary good speed, we've talked about scary fast speed, but I don't think we've ever talked really about just what the heck kind of speed. I think it might be a new term we might have to come up with for that 21 camp, because that's pretty much what he's been doing all day long. Your top 5 position: Pottle, Warrens, Reed, Failure, Kahn. Five's not giving out just yet. She's going to try and make one last move on Dennis Warrens here, but the problem is Warrens has literally got about a 9/10 of a gap here built up on her, and she's not exactly getting any speed off of him here. Warrens just been too calculated, too smart on what he's been up to, what he's been bringing to the table, and it just seems like it's going to happen yet again. 3 laps to go. Two laps left to go. And with the run coming down that back straightaway here, this is going to look to be pretty much all but secured and all but done. After 80 laps of hard-fought, hard clear-cut racing, white flag high in the air for the 21. Robert Kahn has got this thing locked and loaded. Give credit to everyone else out here, though, man. They gave it their heart. They gave it what it was worth. And there is one last little battle coming off the corners off the end here. Kevin Baker and Tyler Orrick can have one last little shootout. Baker trying to get up there with Orrick, but Orrick, man, he just continues to hold the line down, hold the charge in. But it will not be enough, because off of turn number 3 and 4, the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn takes checkers in the Berrytown Cleanrs 80 at Homestead-Miami Speedway. That failure will go second, third to Corey Reed, fourth to Dennis Warrens, and fifth to Chantel Pottle. That will round out the top 5. God knows, though, the points lead is still not quite his yet. Even with the surprising hard charge and hard racing moments and everything. Is still a few points below, and now he knows he'll have plenty to go for and plenty to gain in the next coming weeks. A big victory, though, for the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn. Congratulations on that one here. It'll be interesting to see what he's got to say about this one here when we talk with him in just a minute. Race fans, when we come back, we will see that here on the show. Stay tuned. We're going to finish this one out for your nightcap here in just a moment.
Introducing RS30 Ultra. The first sim racing wheel and pedals designed by a professional championship racer. Officially licensed by Microsoft, RS30 brings next-level realism to your racing sims. Sense the road, know your vehicle, and get faster lap times as you tear through the track. Dual helical gear motors give you more torque than traditional gear drive motors, with the same smoothness and quietness of a belt drive motor. Experience a stunning 6 Nm of torque, the most torque per dollar than any other wheel, and fast, accurate feedback with 0 dead zones. Feel every nuance and know exactly when you're understeering, oversteering, or losing traction. Spring-loaded pedals give you responsive throttle modulation and brake progression for absolute control and precision, just like the real thing. 2 additional paddles can be used as clutch and e-brake, or as pedal-free throttle and brakes. A rotation switch lets you easily toggle between simulation racing and arcade-style racing. Even the diameter of the wheel is calibrated to exact race car specifications. And an easy share button lets you save and share your best laps with a simple push. From the metal build to the suede wheel and steel pedals, every detail is dialed to give the entire system a high-end feel. Get better, go faster, win more, and enjoy every second of it. With RS30 Ultra, you'll race like a pro and feel like one too. RS30 Ultra by GTR Simulator. Go fast.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here right now, we are joined in with the second place finisher here today, the Flying Dutchman himself, Thad Failer, as the 42 will come away with the second place finish here. Can't quite get the W here today, but nevertheless a strong performance to say the least here for you and your team here, Thad. Congratulations on that, sir. What a battle and a position here for you and your crew. Thad, you got a copy? Alright, hold on a minute. Let's see if we can get a copy now. There, see you got one? Failer, can you hear us? Yep. Technical difficulties, folks. Can't get away from them. We're trying down here. Let's make sure ain't nothing on our end here. I don't believe anything is off on our end. Nope, nothing on our end. Alright, we'll try and go back to him a little bit here in a minute here. Let's go ahead and try and see if we can talk to the rattlesnake Robert Kahn here. Kahn, you got a copy?
I got you.
Alright, we have the rattlesnake Robert Kahn on the line here. Your race winner here for the Berrytown Cleanrs 80 at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Congratulations on that, Kahn. And really, talk about a performance in a battle here for you and your crew. You had a lot going on, a lot at stake here, and really, it all just kind of boiled down to just saving the tires and working this thing in for the last bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's all it was. I mean, the hardest part was trying to get separated when in the beginning, but when the green flag pit stops happen and I had a little bit of a lead, you're able to save a little bit more, and it helps you out because you don't have to push as hard. So that was all about saving tires that race.
All about saving tires, and when you saved it all up for the last bit in this last run, I mean, can you talk me through kind of what it felt like, really, just to take the full advantage and full aim to get yourself into victory lane?
I did after green flag stops. I was content with the top 5. I just wanted to save tires, get a good finish, try to have a good points day. But it was a great race. There wasn't any cautions, and it was all about tire wear, which isn't usually one of my strengths. So I'm happy to come out with a win on this one.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, what a battle and a performance for you and your crew. Congratulations, your Con. Anybody want to thank you for this one?
Yeah, GTR Simulators, Gearhead Coffee, all of our sponsors that are affiliated with us, Matt Mills. Appreciate the job you do, and everyone who watches too. Yeah.
For sure there. All right, Con, congratulations. Big victory for him and his crew down in Homestead. And now, ladies and gentlemen, finally we're going to join the second place finisher, Thad Failer here. And Thad, again, congratulations on the second place finish here today, sir. I know this was probably a little bit hard for you to kind of finish off with and really kind of handle down, but this car certainly put on a bit of a charge and put on a bit of a run that last bit to hold off Reed. And I'm still not quite getting a copy on his end here. We'll give him a second or two here. We'll try and see if we can get this working.
Oh, is this better?
Yeah, there you go. Now you got it.
Sorry. Yeah, no, it was a good run. It was clean. I know Chantel and I had a good race there, battle back and forth for a little bit, and then trying to keep, Corey did a short pit on us and kind of came out in front, and then just kind of not trying to chase him too bad and keep the tires under the car was the game there. And still don't have anything for Robert, but congrats to him for a good, clean run. And it was a good night.
Good night indeed here. And let me ask you this as well here, sir. As you're now looking towards the final races of the season, I mean, what strengths and weaknesses do you think you can kind of outplay against him now?
I don't know. I think both of those tracks that we have to finish with are going to be tire management. I know Gateway tends to be really hard on tires. I've won a race there with Pit Strategy before, so that's if you get the chance to do that type of stuff. So yeah, that might help out. And I think when we go to Michigan, it's all going to be about getting a good run and keeping momentum in the car, and at the same time keeping the tires under it, like these tend to be. So yeah, the tire wear, I think he's got that. So I might have to play some games with the Pit Strategy or something like that. So we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes indeed. Dad Failure, though, second place today. Who do you want to thank for this?
Well, first, you guys, the broadcast, BTM, for putting on the league. My teammates at 1776 Motorsports. And then my wife, as always, for letting me take on this sport.
For sure there. Whenever that's that, congratulations on this second place finish. We'll see you next time out here, sir.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks.
The Flying Dutchman, ladies and gentlemen, comes away here on a second place finish here. A third will go, of course, to Corey Reed here in a solid day performance here for him and his crew. Good racing by all and a good race and battle from everyone out here on the track. And a big thank you to GTR Simulator, DeeDub Button Boxes, the Butt Kicker Company, Gearhead Coffee, Ooze Motorsports, FEG, TC.net, Man's Maintenance, Berrytown Cleanrs, Lightning Wraps, Southern Country Co., and Grid Finder for everything this season. And a big thank you to everyone that tuned on into the show. One more race to go, folks. We're not quite done yet. Let's head back to Atlanta. We still got some racing to finish up, but thanks again for tuning in to the show.